Good day, everyone. It is a pleasure to always spend time with you and continuing education for all of us. I learn through you guys and vice versa. We're just having all kinds of fun. I love it. Just the cases, the things you guys have cleared up. I'm so proud of a bunch of you guys that have been suffering for years, and now you're out of pain and cleaning yourselves up. It's just beautiful to see that. A lot of you are helping so many other people. I'm proud of every one of you. You guys are just awakening to what's happening and where you need to be and spiritually, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I'm just so happy to be a part of that and to add my 2 cents wherever I can, So I'm again on this long roll of putting these videos up while Chris is gone. I can't get them up, but I can do them. And so someone the other day on the video said, "Well, how can you do 2 hours? Do 2 hours? You never come to my class." We got 7 hours. We beat it, don't we? 7 long hours every day. We beat it up. So you get me for 7 hours pounding at you. So let's see if I can get on down this, because I'm wanting to catch up so bad. So because I know some of you are hurting and I'm just not getting to yet. So I apologize for that. But you just remember, if you hurting real bad or you got someone serious, you call or get in here and get someone to help you, because there's no sense in having people wait and suffer. All right, this is feedback and questions from Rosanna. My name is Rosanna. I have 2 concerns about my health. I do appreciate everything you do. Oh, thanks, Rosanna. Thank you so much, honey. Let's see what's going on here. I'm over, listen to this. She's over 9 months on fruits, at least 85%. Sometimes I go 100% for days. That's about what I do, too. And the rest with salad. That's about what I do, too. A major improvement in my health. Got rid of allergies. It was insane. First month, I removed about 1/2 gallon of yellow mucus. Digesting, no tonsils since 14. Kidneys are now filtering. After 6 months, took her 6 months to friggin' get the kidneys to filter. How scary is that? But that's what's out there. It's taking people a long time to get their kidneys filtering, and it's like, I wish I knew how we could do it quicker, Not the way I want, but I am on the way. Yeah. I wish I had a better answer. There's just some things we just don't have answers for yet that I'm sure you guys will find it. You guys are the brainos, Remember Country Boy? Emotions are more balanced. I used to be wild, crazy, fight with everyone, and now I am more down to earth. Good. Fungus is out. And not as bad as before. I am going again on GI Broom. Tons of sulfur. Tons of sulfur. She's getting tons of sulfur out of her. She's got a lot of sulfur in her. Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of sulfur from antibiotic use or get it from the mom. I used to be sick with colds all the time. No more. Shallow breathing, gone. Now I have pink nails, pink and beautiful skin. Everybody says I am younger. Teeth is cleaner. I told you, fruits clean your friggin' teeth. I mean, fruits and vegetables do the same thing. They keep your teeth clean. It's beautiful, especially fruits. My menstrual cramps decreased at about 50%. Some periods I was without pain at all. Perfect. We don't want any pain during menses. And we want this light spotting. You'll get yourself healthy to where the uterine wall is clean. No need to over-clean it. The body doesn't see that. The pituitary's in balance. So menses is irregular and small mouth. Don't need much. Funny, since 14, I took ibuprofen for cramps. Isn't that sad? I tell you, you're one woman that's showing the rest of the women how to do it. Cravings decreasing now. I think sweets are very sweet. Yeah, me too. My body is warmer, but I still have cold hands and feet sometimes. I am colder than most people. Well, that's your thyroid now. You know that. But now my periods are so confused. 40 to 45 days. Well, now you're kind of exposing your deeper issues. And this is going to be your pituitary. You're now getting in and waking up everybody, looking at where those weaknesses are, and they come forth on you. And that's just detox. Detox, don't get anybody wrong. Detox brings your weaknesses forward into your face. I had a gentleman this morning, he doesn't feel his hips yet, but his eyes are showing, ooh. So it's just a matter of time on this detox program that he will feel his hips. And when he does, at least he'll be rebuilding them. And that's the thing. You're going to see your weaknesses come forth. And that's what's happening here. So you can either do the female reproductive formula, which tones the ovaries and uterus and picks up that pituitary herbal-wise, or you can use a pituitary glandular, say 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for one bottle. That should bring that menses into balance here. Sometimes during ovulation, it looks like it is going to come. I have some small bleeding during ovulation. Yes. Questionio? Yeah, I really do.
I don't mean to. The place we're doing for the school.
The what?
The place we're doing for the school.
Yeah.
There's been, I don't want to jump from Ramada into the same situation. They've remodeled the restaurant, and there's a couple rooms that are done, but there's an event center that could give us a relatively same price that is gorgeous down there, that same area. And so tomorrow morning, Shannon and I are going to go and look. Do you want to go?
Are they still going to stay in the hotel, though?
No, there's a couple other ones that they can choose from.
Down in Punta Gorda, though?
Yeah.
Well, you can. Look at that.
But
those rooms are water view and everything else for the class.
Okay.
Be real nice.
Well, we want to go through them to make sure.
Well, that's what I told Shannon. You guys go down, look at the rooms. If the rooms are shabby, well then. But they've remodeled that place a couple of times through the years, so they might be better than they were.
Well, this is I have my own travel site, so this is a place where I go to get last up-to-date reviews, not something that's a year ago or 2 years ago.
So you're not getting good up-to-date reviews on it?
There's a couple that are okay, but there's enough coming in that's making me curious.
Okay.
So we're going to run down there in the morning.
Good
I just
idea.
wanted to see if you wanted to go with us or if you want us to just...
I'm pouring concrete in the morning.
Then you don't want to go with us.
I don't want to go with you. I trust your judgments.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
But I got to do some concrete pours.
Okay.
You know, I'm still a work.
We'll make a concrete, judgmental decision.
Make a concrete judgment. Thanks, Marcy. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now let me keep going. I have some small bleeding during ovulation. There were some months I had 2 in a month. Yeah, I mean, when you start detoxifying, there's no question that you can see, especially if you're getting into that area of the pituitary, you can see a little of this. You know, a little back and forth, a little up and down. So I would go after that pituitary a little bit. But it also suggests that maybe you need to fix your sinuses and clean your sinuses out better. But also, remember, connection to pituitary's transverse colon. So you want to clean up your GI tract too and get rid of that influence, and then get up and get upper circuit, brain, and nerve, and start turning on the upper stairs and getting all the mucus out and stuff. And you'll start pulling all that stuff more into balance. But you can use the glandular on the pituitary and the female reproductive. Bottom line, at least 6 months my period got completely messed up. I was super regular to the hour. There is my period concern I have, that'll straighten itself back out, sweetheart. I am 46. I mean, we're almost nearing the end anyway. I mean, most women stop in their low 50s. So you're getting close to that anyway. It might, but I'd keep working on my health of my endocrine glands, that's for sure, because that's where you're talking about. This is an endocrine gland issue. I am 46 now and got my period around 13. It's about normal, I would say. I took some bottle, maybe a little early, but I took a bottle of adrenal glandulars and just finished a thyroid one. Did GI Broom and took upper circuit, brain and nerve, good woman. For the sinuses, you're smart. Cataract. Okay, so if you've got a cataract, dear one, you've got to get that out of there, and that's cholesterol. So that also means that you probably have some cholesterol plaquing up there. We need to get that out of there. And that's going to help give your brain a reprieve, the pituitary reprieve. Everybody's going to get healthy and then control everything back to normal again. And so that I would keep working with that, though. My vision is on the left eye, 2200. Wow. I was not able to recuperate it. Well, keep working. Keep working on yourself. Despite all eye washes and herbs, it is a dense cataract. Shoot. Yeah, I don't have anything to say but keep working, because as you get up in these spaces, harder. and everything down below has to be clean so you can move this out better. I'll say this, use the neurolymphatic points down your spine, keep working to get some drainage down that way, and you could work on your sternum here the same way on each side of that sternum there where the ribs come in. Go clockwise there and dig in a little bit, but go down your back. That'll start opening up better lymph drainage and stuff. But it sounds like take a picture of your eyes and take a look at your bowels and take a look at the sinuses and stuff like that. Cataracts will come out, but it has to have a pathway, and that's the lymph system again. Back to the lymph system again, guys. I wish I'd have found you years ago, but honey, you're doing a great job. Let me tell you, sweetie, you're doing a great job. You dig in, you keep digging in. You're 46, you're at a perfect age. You have fun. You just keep digging into your body and getting it healthier, and you'll be this. You'll be A-OK. You're doing so well. Real proud of you. This is a 5 gold stars. Yeah. The second concern is my weight. I am 5'7" and weigh 185, 9 pounds on Raw, 9 months on Raw, and I am not able to go down 1 single pound. Well, you might be holding water. You might be so acidic, sweetheart, you're holding water too much, and that sometimes keeps your weight from going down. Either that or you have a ton of responsibility. You have way too much responsibility and stress in your life, and your adrenals are just holding all this water as a buffer. I can say it's all hooked to your kidneys and adrenals, whether it's fat or water. So as a rule, when you're on Raw like this and you're very acidic, you'll actually hold water for a while as hydration is attempting to take place interstitially. So I just keep working that. Take 2 kidney formulas. One is a diuretic. Anything like kidney 3 or 4, definitely diuretics. Keep working with that, and kidney filtration, and keep working that. And once you open all those pathways, the cataract will come out. And that, or you have to have it removed, and it's better to take it out naturally because it does signify possible cholesterol plaquing up higher or back further. It is frustrating for me as I want to go down, and you should have went down, sweetheart. You should have went down. When you don't, that tells me you're edemic. You're holding water. Push on your ankles and see if you got any edema there. But it sounds like you've got a holding inside of yourself a little water, making it a little bloaty there. But if not, then I don't know why, because anybody loses weight on raw foods. And that's why generally it's a edemic situation instead of I'm not losing any fat. But regardless, it's your adrenal glands that's doing that. So you want to take care of those adrenals. Okay, no urge to urinate. Ooh, Tanya. Oh, man. Hello, my name is Tanya. I am wondering why when I drink fluids I don't feel the urge to urinate. I don't know. I mean, that could mean you have some severe weaknesses in the autonomic down there. I would expect that, you could be highly inflamed. Now, as a rule, when you get interstitial cystitis or you're highly inflamed in the wall of the bladder, that urgency comes on quite frequently. So I don't know why you would not have that. I'll say this, that the pituitary controls that a lot. And we were just talking about the pituitary, but pituitary controls urination. You might want to look at your other factors and see, you're a female, see if your menses is regular or irregular, see your height, see if you have any pituitary things there. You could work on the pituitary gland, just say use a glandular, 1 bottle, twice a day, and see if that'll be helpful, or use the endocrine gland herbal formula and see if that'll be helpful to that sort of thing. And I would go on my kidneys and my detox program. I'd go into the 2 kidney formulas, start working on the urinary tract, get into the adrenals, enhancing your autonomic nervous system at the same time. You have your pituitary connection to urination. I could drink 4 cups of water and not feel the need to urinate, but I do because I know I need to urinate. Interesting. It's interesting you have a bladder that won't let you know that, and that's a neurological issue. So those are the things that I would do, is increase my pituitary function and go into the adrenals and the kidneys and bladder and clean them up. and start detoxing, getting my bowels cleaned up and all those sort of things as well. Could Dr. Morse tell me why this is? I am taking pituitary. Oh, you're already taking pituitary gland. I'm fruitarian, 8 months now. Wow. Wow, good. You're doing good. I'll tell you that, sweetheart. You're doing really good. That's the only thing I can think of. And the pituitary, good catch. You guys are good. That's a good catch. So I don't know. Other than working on those things, you keep working on them because I don't know outside of that. Because that's a neurological issue. And by bringing your adrenals up, you're bringing your autonomic up. By getting the inflammation, getting the kidneys to filter and all this cleaned up, you're bringing in more sensitivity. And the pituitary. I don't know. You might need to drain your sinuses and stuff like that if you can't get that pituitary to start working better. But proud of you for being smart. You just keep working. Sometimes we have to keep working on ourselves to get a remedy. And who knows why. I mean, we are multifaceted beings. It's not just a physical shell. When I look at you, I know there's an emotional body in there, there's a mental body in there, and then there's you, the soul. So I do know that, you have multiple aspects to your journey. And with me, I try to only work on the physical body, at least where you're conscious of that. The other parts we do more in the dream state. Dr. Morse's Health Club. Let me see. Who is this? Myra. Hi, Myra. Thank you for your informational videos. I am a 44-year-old woman in pretty good health. I have had a dull headache, heavy eyelids, and eyes that at times just can't focus. Well, I don't like what you just said there myself. So really, I would do upper circuit, brain, and nerve if it's me right off. I'm doing upper circuit. That means I'm increasing blood and bringing oxygen into my brain cells. At the same time, I'm going to get the brain and nerve formula, which enhances neurological function. At the same time, I'm going to start detoxing. I'm going to go and I'm going to get my kidneys, I'm going to get my adrenals up, and I'm going to kill fungus in my body. I'm going to go and do a big fungal kill in my body. That would be Parasite M for about 2 or 3 months. And really get a good feel with that. At the same time, I'm going to want to drain my sinuses and get all my bowels and everything cleaned up. So with the detox, you got the kidneys, you got the bowel formulas, you got all of that, and you'll start cleaning all that up. By getting the adrenals up, of course, you turn on the kidneys, you start moving all this acid and congestion out, but you also enhance the nervous system. And this sounds like you're losing neural responses. And so seen that a lot, and some people just end up falling asleep all the time. And so this is the one thing that you want to get going on that. Change my diet, obviously, and you already did the fruits for, let's see, is this one? No, I don't know what your diet is yet. My brain seems scrambled. I can't process information quickly. Yeah, upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Essential order for that sort of problem. But getting sinus drainage, getting the bowels cleaned up so the head can drain, really key. But remember, you also have an autonomic connection. I would definitely get the adrenals up, get my stomach and bowels cleaned up since the autonomic brain is in the stomach area, and get that sort of thing all cleaned up. And now you'll pull yourself out of that. A lot of people have that. I have seen medical doctors, but of course I come up empty, of course. After researching it seems I might have candida. Well, that's why you want to do a major fungal kill, but it could be a lot more than candida. But you want to get a good fungal kill, candida kill. But you also want to get more oxygenated blood up there. You want to get more neural response up there. Turn everything on. The thing that shuts things down is the lymph and acidosis and mucus. All of that just shuts and slams and blocks and inhibits. And you just want to clean all that out, turn on the adrenals, get your autonomic on, where everything is awakening up, and you move yourself out of that. Could you make a video specifically for candida sufferers? Diet? Herbal remedy? Why the imbalance? I don't know what do you mean by that? Count me in for level 1. Yeah. Well, Level 2's coming along pretty good, guys, and that's what Marcy was talking about, where I've got a nice motel right on the water, nice ambiance. You can get rooms that are only like $85 a night on the water. The suites are huge, and they're like only 115. Regular rooms are 65. It's not a bad rate in the fall for Florida. People are starting to come down. Everything starts going way the heck up. But she's not sure how the rooms look. The motels remodeled themselves a couple of times. Used to be Best Western, Holiday Inn. So she's on the prowl to look. But the layout, we're going to have some fun this year in level 2. Now, Candida, though. And we've talked about fungus and Candida quite a bit on the videos in the past. But there's two things you have to think about when you're thinking about Candida, because fungus is a natural aspect. And we're going to use yeast as fungus because same family. So I'm going to use the word fungus, but it's Candida. You can use any name, different factions, but still same thing. We're a society that loves complex sugars. Polysaccharides or disaccharides. Di means 2 or more, and then poly means multiple. So when you're talking about sugars, there's only 3 simple sugars, of course. Your fructose for your fruits, your glucose for your vegetables, and your galactose for your milk. When you compound those sugars, then you start getting into di or multiple saccharides, meaning multiple sugars, and then more concentrated sugars. About the same thing you do with amino acids, compounding and creating proteins. When it's really only the simple sugars, the simple amino acids, and the simple fatty acids that the body can even use. And why we go after these complex foods, I'll never know. It's just that when we migrated out of the tropics, it's obvious what we've had to do with cellars and grazing food and stuff like this. And we lost our fruit trees because they die in winter if you have snow and stuff like this sometimes, and except for the apples and peaches and things like that. So the fact that we have a starch-eating society around the globe is a problem. And the big problem comes in when the adrenals are down, which is global, and the inability to metabolize that level of sugar. When you can't metabolize your sugars, what's going to happen to them as they're going down toward the atomic structure again? They're fermenting. And what is the fermenting process? What aids the fermentation process? Yeast, fungus. And so we do that in beers, we do that in cheeses, we do that, we do enzymes and fungus and all this kind of stuff. And people think those are health foods. Okay. But when you're eating cheeses and you're eating breads, these are already fermented foods. You can expect to have yeast or fungal problems. So getting away from complex foods, because what's the foods you crave when you have Candida problems? Not fruit. You don't crave fruit when you have Candida problems because they clean Candida out of you. What you do crave is starches. Your pastas, your breads, your cheeses, of course, already fermented foods. So you can't starve fungus. You can't, because fungus is always going to be a part of nature in the fermentation process, which is essential for carbon and carbohydrates. Always, that's just nature. So it isn't trying to get rid of all this. It's to have an acceptable level, of course, and to fix the adrenal glands and get away from starches and things like this. So we use like Parasite M, or you can find any antifungal on the market and go after that. And at the same time, get rid of the starches and things in your life. Go to your natural fruits and your berries and your melons and your vegetables. It's the vegetables are very inactive when it comes to lymph drainage, as you all are finding out, and therefore fruits are very aggressive. So sometimes when you have heavy Candida problems, you have aggression. You see that. So some people with heavy Candida problems have to go down and have vegetables for a while they take care of their Candida problems, and then they can kick up to the fruits and berries and stuff. So that's the way you would want to go with that, using a parasitic formula and stuff. But I think you have a lot more going on than just fungus with this. But just to rule that out, I would do that. And at the same time, I'm an upper circ, brain and nerve. I'm going after my nervous systems, autonomic through the adrenals, upstairs through upper circ, brain and nerve too. So you guys get a good take on that, Myra, and go down that road. You'll find your remedy there. Because we've had a lot of these cases here, and it's not difficult to clear that up. But clear it up, you want to do that because you want to get your head to drain and stuff like that because you are 44. And you don't want early Alzheimer's, dementia, anything like that creeping on your, memory loss and things like this. Because if that was heavy candida causing that much problem, you could have big time memory loss with just candida problems too. I've seen both. So by going both ways, you'll get that and you'll be good. Okay? Thanks for the question, Myra. Thank you much. And this is Kayla. Questions. Hello, I have a question about my eyes. This must be an eye day. 8. I don't know what that means. I have been on this 100% raw fruit journey for a little over 3 months now, and I'm on many of your herbs for 2 of the months. I have had several healing crises, so that's good, and many other consistent detox symptoms. I see some sediment in urine daily. Well, that's good. That's real good. And minor mucus coming from nose, vaginal, stools, urine throughout this time. Well, that's good. And that's just what you would see as mucus coming from these areas. But I see no changes in my eyes. Well, it's only been 3 months. Radical changes where you can really see them take 6 months to a year easy. Now, if you had a camera, you had a picture, and you're really close. Some guy was in after 3 months, he wanted his eye picture. Very small changes, but they're significant. You can see healing lines in some of these genetic lesions or lacunas. You can see the lymph, but you have to really look. If you really want to see the difference, wait 1 year and then take a picture. Especially on a high fruit diet, you're going to see major improvements, major eye changes. If you're already blue, you might see a lighter blue. But look at the fibers, look at the size of these lacunas or crypts or whatever you want to call them, and see if they have any healing lines in there, if they're getting smaller, lighter, those sort of things. And you might be pleasantly surprised. Very difficult to look in a mirror and go, oh, I don't see any improvement. Very difficult to do it in that manner. That's why I like cameras. This is no way to do it either. You know, I think if you're going to be a good iridologist, belly up and buy yourself a camera. You'll be glad you did. And you'll be able to keep your client's eyes right in the chart. And as the years go on, all you have to do is open the chart. You don't even need to read their problems. Their eyes speak to you right there. And you can have befores and afters. And that's easy because in the befores and afters, you can flip between the two. You can see the changes better. Trying to look in any other way, much more difficult. Can you have healing and cleansing of the body, lymphatic system, and not see changes in the eyes until later on? Absolutely. Absolutely, even though I think it's all in real time. But major changes, if you look at Marcy's changes, and for those that were at level 1, most of these changes that you see are so drastic. Marcy drastically has changed her eyes. You got to be proud of her. She's an unbelievable change, obvious. And I don't know, she's been a year or more on that, but major changes. So it's better to wait and then pick them up, and then you can see better changes when you do that. If you're doing it by every 3 months, watch pot, sort of thing. Are the eyes like layers, and it just takes a while for the underlying layers to reach the surface to be able to see the progress? Well, it does take an X amount of time, and I'll tell you the truth, all I can say is I've seen lymphatic changes within months. I just had the case this morning where the guy's eyes did change lymphatically. It wasn't a gross change, but you definitely could look at the befores and the afters and see some great changes. Matter of fact, sometimes if you have pictures and you look at your eyes before and afters, you will see that one was a little murky and that the eyes, the weaknesses seem to be more clear, and it's not that it's getting worse, it's just that you're cleaning the haze, the lymph, the mucus out of the body, and now the eyes, you can see the fibers better. So it does take a while. A true regeneration of tissue, I tell people, hang in for a year. But in all respect, you're going to see changes fairly quickly. I told you about the 95-year-old man that was going to go to dialysis, and he was going to go Wednesday, and he was in here on a Monday. And so he said, I don't want to go. And I said, well, you don't have to go. You're still peeing. I can get you filtering. Everything is good. And so I took a picture of his eyes. Well, his right eye, I remember the eye and the kidney, and a big eye, almost looked like a kidney in the eye. And when I got the pictures back from the lab, it was real blurry, but I could still make it out. But I wanted a nice, clean picture, and I called him up and said, I need to get your butt in here and take another picture. 1 month, 3 days later, he's in here to take a picture, and there's healing lines starting to sprout all through his kidney lesion. I'm going, holy crap. But those are you guys with strong constitutions. That's why through the years I've seen the difference between those with the strong constitutions and those with weaker ones. And I tell you, us with the weaker ones, we work twice as hard to get our remedy than you guys with the strong ones. Every day of the week. So that's why I say you guys with strong genes, you can take your health so far out the world has no clue where you are. I am just wondering because I check my eyes often and it is discouraging. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, because that'll just lead to frustration like you're doing. Don't do too quick. And it's minute amounts, very small amounts each time. So if you do it I like to do them every 6 months. I like to take my clients' pictures every 6 months. Too early to do them. Not enough, because if you watch too close, then it becomes frustrating. Put that to the side. Come back in another 6 months or so and take them again. And make sure you're taking pictures. Because if you're just looking in a mirror, take your pictures and then have befores and afters and keep a line of your pictures. And then you can progress yourself like that. Absolutely. Thank you, and thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kayla. Thanks so much. You know, sometimes in detox we get excited and we want to, see these things happen overnight. I know I do. I'm kind of that way, the same way. But realistically, wait every 6 months for eye pictures. That's better. And just hit the focus on the fruit of the detox and then be pleasantly surprised, because you can't help but change your eyes when you do that. It's not will I or could I. It's, how much can you change and how quick. And that all leads to kidney filtration. If you're not filtering your kidneys well, and you're working 6 months to get your kidneys just to filter, you might see minimal results in your eye changes. And it's understandable, isn't it? If you can't, and it also goes to the fact of kidneys and the need to filtrate. Because if you can't get a tumor out until you get filtration, if you can't get eye changes until good filtration, what is the message here? And it's simple. If you can't get kidney filtration, you can't get a remedy. That kidney is that vital to get it filtering, that vital. Now, there's minimal changes because sometimes there's minimal filtration and you don't see it. But if you're one with elevated creatinine levels and stuff, you're not even filtering minorly now. And that's more problematic, and so you'll be slow to change. But once you get everything rolling, your changes will start rolling faster and faster and faster. But there's, the first 6 months or first 3 months, you're just cracking the egg open and really getting things going. Then your body's going to go deeper, especially if you're just doing the fruits and berries and melons. Your body's going to pull itself deeper and deeper and deeper. You went from clear mucus to yellow mucus to green, brown, and black mucus. I mean, you start getting deep into those tissues, and you start to realize that your body is layered. And I've always said your body is layered, and you see the layers. And it's also layered with fungus. So you could feel like you got all the fungus out, and another few months on detox, you feel like you got it right back because you're pulling into these fungal beds. And it's just one big job to get the physical body healthy again. Big body, a lot of pathways, but you guys know the secrets and you're doing it. And I'll tell you, at least there's a remedy. We could still be going, well, I've been to doctor after doctor, I just can't get better. There's nothing out there to help me. We don't want to be that. We're the light. We're the light that shines. Might take a little bit and a little effort on everybody's side, but isn't it worth it? It is worth it. It is, no matter what you think, no matter how frustrating some things are, it's well worth it. Just don't watch so close. Let things go and be of their own time. Yeah, then you'll be good. Stacy, wow, I got a lot of females today. I know I'm a little late, but you have so many videos, I can't search through them all. I know. Ever heard of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? No. What is it? You know what? I'll have, matter of fact, the next one I'll do, I'll have Jid B look that up, because I have no idea what that is. Never heard of that. There's so many of those things you never hear of. There's so many quirky little things like that. But know this. No matter what you're suffering with, 99.999% of the time it's on the acid side of chemistry. It's a lymph system that's holding the acids in. Rarely is it a blood problem, and when it is a blood problem, it's a lymph system backing up and doing it. fixing the lymph system, fix the blood and everything else. So no matter what tissue, what part of the body, wherever you are, from fallopian tubes to ureters to bile ducts even, even to the pipes. All of it is tissue with the two fluids. And just keep in mind, no matter what you're diagnosed with, there's always a remedy, because there's never a remedy to diseases. There's no cure to any diseases. You know that already, right? So if you keep looking for a cure for diseases, you'll spend the rest of your life looking. Medical doctors already have done that. Pharmaceutical companies have already done that. And they still just can't seem to find a remedy when you guys on Facebook and you beautiful people around the world are getting yourselves well right and left. Simplicity is always the key. Oh, this is Lauren. Hello, Lauren. Hi, sweetheart. So regular sauna is better than infrared, I think. All I have to say, again, I just don't know the extent of what we can show on YouTube. Pretty graphic stuff. I've got some very graphic stuff that we work with here that's, can be startling to some people. But what infrared treatment did to the breasts, this one left breast of a woman that went to Europe for this treatment, is scary. And it's something that I'm just against radiation at any level. I don't care what they claim. Full spectrum lighting, okay, even that is strong. But still, full spectrum, you've got a balance in radiation. But when you isolate radiation, nothing ever good comes with isolating chemistry or magnetics detect. My opinion. And I just don't want to be the guy that says, oh, I told you to have an infrared and now we find that it's all cancer causing. No, I don't want to be that guy. So I'm always ruling on the side of safety first. That's just always been my nature, because I can't stand people getting hurt and suffering. And so I don't want to be there if that is. If it's found to be totally harmless, fine. But there's a lot of studies that say there's no problems. But then again, there's more studies now coming that's... so you just have to... I always err on the road of caution. Not to say that I'm always right, but it's enough to say that always err on the road of caution. And when you're acidic, now if you weren't so acidic, maybe good infrared, okay, but when you're highly acidic inside and you're breathing radiation into the body, even at these levels, caution to the cells. I mean, always. There's a lot of people with highly damaged cells, especially genetic weaknesses, so sweetheart, I'm a little cautious. Don't be mad at me. I've been using infrared 5 days a week now, but now I'm wondering if I should switch. I would, even if you just did a little of each one, where you did maybe an infrared once or twice a week, maybe cut it way down. You just want to be careful, because look at the tanning beds. So the children can't go in there, but it's okay for the adults, right? It's not okay for anybody. You have to be careful, because once you start breaking down your cells, you're now a beast at another level. And we don't want anybody to hurt themselves with things that are touted to be natural. That's not the way I work. So, sweetheart, I'm just erring on the side of caution, but be careful with that. I'd rather see a steam or dry sauna. I am in favor of sweat lodges, just because that guy was a wacko, and I don't know, your egos get real built up there, so he got his really kicked, and all those people dying there, that's insane. But I had a Native American build me a sweat lodge on my property, very hot, but you don't use them you don't need to use them to have visions. We can give you visions. Besides, you don't want just visions. You want out-of-body traveling, baby. Oh, this is Kaylee again. Hello, sweet. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you, honey. I have been on this 100% for same one. Yeah, tell you later on. Are the eyes, the layers? Yeah, same one that was just read. You guys are sweethearts. I tell you what. I love each and every one of you. You're just doing I'm so proud of you guys, Nothing's perfect out there, but if we keep working together, keep growing, and keep expanding, and erring on the side of safety, we'll be healthy, dynamic, living in Wellville, and cruising the universes, and that's fun. There's only so much experiences you can have here in this world, and with a physical body. It's more inertia. So once you tap into your more etheric side, that's when the real fun begins. Yeah! That's when the real fun begins. And that's when the beauty and the excitement and the joy overwhelms you. It's just, it's nirvanic, Mangosteen lover. First of all, I would like to thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Who am I talking to? Oh, Yeni. Yeni? I am planning to do fasting to get rid of my breast cysts. Good idea. I would definitely, now keep in mind, if you're having breast cysts, kidneys. So you got to get those kidneys filtering. Key. So get the adrenals and kidneys up and going so you have this pathway opened up, because right here's your kidneys for each breast, just right there. And get your lymphatic formulas going and you'll pull those cysts right out of that breast. Absolutely. Fibroadenoma. And overcome my hypothyroid. Oh, so you're backed up pretty good. So yeah, you want to get your lymph moving. Get them out of the breast, get the lymph out of the neck area, clear up the head, the sinuses and everything. Get your thyroid up. That's not difficult. You can use a glandular to help pop that up while you're cleaning yourself out. There's herbs for the thyroids, of course. Now, this is all lymphatic. This breast stuff is all lymphatic. Lymphatic. But they lead to breast cancers, and that's what they're suggesting here with that diagnosis, that I can't have another baby. Oh, yeah. Well, tone everything. Get your glands in shape, tone your glands, get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, so when you have your baby, the baby's got good kidneys, they got good adrenal glands, they're filtering their lymph, their nervous systems are good, so you want to work on that. You might want to work on your nervous system a little bit too. Depends what your blood pressure is. If you're running low blood pressure, you want to work on the nervous system a little bit with the brain and nerve too. My current TSH level is 3.8, that's pretty strong. What is the ideal TSH level for me before I get pregnant? Good question. I'm not an expert on that, but I would say within the 2s to 3s, I suppose. I think when you're down around the 1s, I don't know. When you start getting, say, 1.5 or below, then I'm starting to see it kick down the thyroid, kick down the parathyroid. I see it starting to have a residual kick to the other glands. And so as I perk it up, you'll see basically between 2 and where you are, in my opinion. But then I'm not an expert on that one. I'm thinking to do 3 kinds of fasting, which are the great fasting, master cleanse. You know what? I think you have it down perfect. I think Mangosteen lover, I think you have it down perfect. I think that the great fast should be first, then tweak it up a notch. That's your lemon juice fast. But get these kidneys filtered. Get on a couple kidney formulas, adrenal formula. At least do those, and maybe one lymphatic formula. So you start pulling and getting the lymph nodes cleaned and stuff, because first goes to the lymph nodes and then to the kidneys. So remember the lymph nodes. But that is just all about hydration, all about kidney filtration and getting that drawing and elimination going there. Oh boy, you got a good, there's another sweetheart right here. Got herself focused, knows what she wants to do. Boy, you guys are really getting yourself lined up. And this is how you do it. And by the way, for you ladies that have fibrocystic breasts and stuff like this, you want these out of there, because this is all just precursors to bigger tumors and things like this, and you just want to get that all out of there. You don't want to ride with that. And if you have sore breasts during menses, I don't like that either. So that just shows high acidosis, and of course when estrogen goes up, it's acidic, you start feeling it wherever you're acidic. So no. You want to get those kidneys filtering, adrenals up, kidneys filtering, and the lymph moving. And that'll clean all of that out of there. You would do that if you had a breast tumor. Same thing. But in which order? Grapes, lemons, and then water. Always. You'll have a much better way to go if you do the grapes first, then you do the lemon, which is very strong, and then the water. That's all good. During these fasts, is it okay to have mints or to use the breath tonic spray that is made out of herbs? Yeah. And it's okay to scrape your tongue, too. because some people do. You know, they have tongue scrapers, so a lot of people get all that out of there. And by the way, talking about the tongue, when you're on these fasts, looking at the tongue and the color changes, you know, that's the old way we fasted people, was by the tongue method. You know, when you start fasting, your tongue's going to get coated. And white, okay, yeah. Greenish brown, not so good. You know, it can get coated real dark. And I've had people with black coatings on their tongue. Not good. You know, it just shows extreme toxemia. You know, it's just, all that has to be cleaned up. And yeah, you can some herbs in the breath. Also, can I take the God's Herbs Hill OT and the glandular? You could. I wouldn't think you would need any glandular during that. I really wouldn't, except maybe the adrenals. If you have real low blood pressure, take the 400 milligrams. If not so low, say 110 or above, 200. But if it was me, if I had anywhere below 110, say 100, 90 over, I'm going to be at the 400 milligrams, and I'm going to do 1-3 times a day if it's me. During the water fasting, I don't care. I wouldn't take anything. You can, but I wouldn't take anything. Just water fast. You know, just to give your body total rest and total ability to do that. And just try it for 2 or 3 days. You don't have to go crazy at first. You know, play with this. But I love your mind and your focus. You're really focused. I really like your thinking. This is just what you want to do, and you want to get these fibrocystic breasts cleaned up. How often do I do these fasts? Well, when you get on the grape fast, go as long as you can. You know, once you pass 3 days, you're good. You can pass 10, 15, it's no big deal because you're still eating everything, the hunger. So push that grape fast as long as you can. When you break that, go to a 10-day lemon juice fast. Now, one guy just went 42 days or something like that and kicked butt. But that's a lot of days on lemons. Most I've ever done is like 29, I think it is. A friend of mine money did 27 days. But that's a long time on lemons. You really get limited out. But you want to keep doing them until your breast is clean. I had 2 young ladies in here one day. The client was 22 years old and her friend was 21. And she had an egg-sized tumor sticking out on her right breast. And the 22-year-old. And I was telling her what she'd have to do, and that it's the kidneys. Right here's your kidney, right there's your channel, and that you need to get her kidneys filtering, blah, 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 blah. But I said, you know, a lot of the ladies and, you know, guys are doing these 40-day water fasts, and you are lemon juice or grape fast. And I said, particularly the grape fasts. I said, I just had a model do 40, she did 43 days, grapes and lemons, and no more bone or lung cancer left. So we have her testimonial there. And these are people's testimonials, and it's not me throwing out crap. My whole goal is to get people well. But she did 43 days, pretty good. So I told her about that, and she said, well, I'll think about it. So I didn't see her for a couple of months, about the time we see you again. And she came in, and she brought a friend with her. And I said, how'd you do, honey? And she said, oh, we did great. I said, we? She said, oh, my friend did this with me. I said, oh, that was cool. She said, we just did a 40-day grape fast. And she said, we had so much fun, we're going to go on another one. And she said, oh, by the way, this is half gone. That's the thing. How would you suggest me breaking the fast if I were to do 1 week grape fast, followed by 3 weeks master cleanse and 1 week water fast? I think I would do the reverse. I would do 3 weeks grape fast, 1 week lemon juice fast, and then 1 week water fast. And you definitely want to break it on fruits or fruit juices. You know, you want to take a day or two. In your case, if you're going to go that long, I'd take 2 or more days of fruit or fruit juices, then before I broke into the vegetable matter. And I would keep it raw for 2 or 3 days if you wanted to consume any cooked foods. If not, keep it raw, baby. But I would definitely always break fast with fruits, always. There's no question about that. That's how powerful fruits are. That's how kidney-oriented they are. That's how detoxifying they are. They shake, they rock, they roll. And that's what I would do, for sure. Do you have any other do's or don'ts during the fasting? Rest. Make all that energy count. Because what the body will do is take all your energy and move it somewhere. Because sometimes you get to fasting, you have so much energy, you feel like doing all kinds of things. Relax. Take it easy. Enjoy yourself. Do some contemplation where you're just relaxing and trying to be in the now, or sit by the ocean and enjoy the infinity that water affords us. Just however you enjoy expanding your consciousness. And take some time for yourself, dear one. You sound like a beautiful, beautiful woman. Mangosteen lover. Very few men have breast cysts, but could be. There are breast cancer in men, you know that. And this is Jure, Jury, is that correct? I'm sorry about pronunciations there. Oh, I love your videos. They are easy to understand. Thank you, my friend. I hope so, because what goal would we have to speak above others? What goal would we have to make ourselves look good and others weak? None. That's ridiculous. That's the ego. So I'm always trying to find simpler ways to address this. And you'll find this true with your clients. Always find the simplest way to explain things to them, and you'll get the, aha, I get it. If we're always talking over people's heads, we don't serve any purpose but our own ego. So having good communication, the art of dialectics, doesn't have to be an intellectual gig. You can use simplicity and have a much greater communication with the audience, no matter what that audience is, right? I am wondering why sometimes apples or grapes cause me stomach pain. Then you have stomach problems, my dear. So I would probably get that stomach tea and start drinking it. Don't have to drink gallons of it, but make yourself a cup and then sip it through the morning. But get some of that healing tea in there and cleaning up the GI tract with stomach and bowel, whatever, and get the kidneys filtering. Get the lymph system cleaned up in the gut as well. But when you have pains when you eat fruits like that, you got a problem going on in the stomach or pancreas, one of the two, maybe even in the gallbladder. So that's a problem with that area. Get a picture of your eyes, take a look at your stomach and your GI tract, see what you can see there, but that's what that's suggesting. Because when you put, even apples are so gentle and sweet and loving that if you have pain on that, you've got some problems down there. You need to get that out of there. Stay away from your proteins, your acid hitters, and all this, and cool everything down. The stomach tea is real. That's why I made this, to heal and soothe the stomach mucosa and tissues, but also to try to get a little bit of a lymphatic cleansing going on there. I have a 4 o'clock appointment, so I might have to go here in just a few minutes, so I apologize, but Jen will let me know here in a minute. Okay, now this is a good question. On the side of that, she says, is it possible that they are not ripe? Well, rarely do you get grapes that are not ripe. Apples, I don't know what to say about them, The problem is that you're generally eating a year behind on the apples. So I don't know, but still, I get apples out of the grocery stores, and they're real soothing to any type of stomach things. And if I would combine a protein and starch, say I did some beans and rice or something, I'd have a problem. And I would have to use an apple, because I am sensitive to food combinations like no. So it's just not worth it to me to eat like that, even if it was good for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, love. Thank you so much for this. I would say get in and fix that stomach up a little bit. That's a little concernful that would bother you like that. So I do the stomach tea, like I said, and really start working with the GI tract formulas. Maybe even as you get down the road, the GI broom, get the kidneys filtering and stuff, and just clean all that up, because I don't like how that sounds. I've seen other people have that as well, of course. And you don't want to move toward gastroparesis, which is paralysis of the stomach and crap like that that's out there now. Not worth that. This was a question that was interesting to me. And it said, I would like to know what Dr. Moore's thoughts are regarding monoatomic particles or elements. And these are elements that have single atoms to them, or what we call the protons. And so I was looking up what all was single elements or single atoms, and you got your argon gases and stuff like this. And we've seen some of that in the Rife machine. I think they were using argon gas in the tips and things like that. Radon, of course, is what people don't want. Krypton, all these. You know what? I never mess with that side of that, nor would I ever think about it. I don't think there's any road to healing with that other than as it comes in the natural gases of air that you breathe. Whether that's accentuated through toxemia, through manufacturing or something, good question, you know. That would be interesting to see some research on exposure to these gases, but someone would have to pay the price, wouldn't they? And generally some poor animal. So I'm just not into thinking at these atomic or subatomic areas or nano levels even, because these are just unfathomable. And everything has to be in the order of things. And you have to understand the order of things in the universe. I think health is simplistic. It is simply returning to the diet your body is designed to consume. And if you understand that the Homo sapien is a tropical species and that we're frugivores, and by eating that, and look at all the people now that are eating the fruits that feel so much better. I think the testimonies stand on their own with that. And I think messing with these single atomic structures, I don't know. Because you're always in a world of ionization and oxidation, always. So there is always this ongoing movement of atoms, the absorption and the elimination of atoms. And I don't know what to say. You know, this is just a major process of movement between these two poles of nature. And you know, whether elements pull in more electrons and change their natures. I mean, that's all in that process. The problem, I've studied that process for years, but the problem is there's a certain point where it becomes very theoried and concept. And I have to leave that because I'm more in practicality and what works on people. We have to then gauge science in that way. We can't go the pharmaceutical way and look at the ass end of the donkey first. That's not the way to do that. But I don't really get into these subatomic, or not sub, this is mono, meaning single, you know, where it's one proton in the nucleus. And I don't mess with that level of thinking, and nor should I think anyone else, to be honest with you. I think sometimes when we get involved in these things, we can really make things a lot worse. And I've seen universities do things to people experimenting with these things. I saw one guy, and I can't remember which one these were, but shot it up into his roof of his mouth because he had cancer there. And this guy didn't make it. He ended up with brain cancer, bad. This guy had a real bad way. And so all I can tell you is caution to all these sort of things here. They're abnormal. No other vertebrae takes out of context any atomic particles like that. Everything is all bonded and synergistically bound to have the effect that it does. We've seen what happens when we rearrange that and what we've created. Some of it's a nightmare. All right, I hope that was enough for you. Angela, hello Angela. This is so small, I'm going to squint on this one. Came back real small. I have pain on my right side in the kidney. Look at all the kidneys, guys. Everybody, it's kidney. In the right side in the kidney are in the back that radiates up front towards the vaginal exit. I think it is kidney stones possible. If it is a kidney stone, then sweetheart, you want to try at least the 500 milligrams of magnesium every hour and 200 milligrams of B6 every hour for 24 hours. That should help. But get on the lemon juice, get on the orange juice, get on the fruit juices and start trying to dissolve these stones and pulling them out. If they're too big, you know, I'm quite aware, of the kidney stone syndrome, and a lot of people have them. One girl just got a hold of me, and they found her whole kidneys full of stones. It's just our weaker kidneys, and I come in with genetically weak kidneys. Whenever you have a weakness, you're going to see stones and all that forming in the presence of acidosis. It's just the draw of calcium out of the tissue there, and just the ionization, the rocking of this, whether it's a kidney oxalate or whatever, or a calcium oxalate or whatever. I think it is kidney stones. I have been super stressed for months now. My partner of 14 years was unsure of wanting to be here. Oh. And at the same time, my oldest son had been in and out of rehab. You know what? Life's hard, guys. Life's hard right now for everybody. And a lot of souls don't want to be here anymore. It's not fun anymore. You have dictators. You have governments taking the rights and freedoms away from people. What fun is it? So what we're breeding is war. And these guys are just unconscious. There's manipulation from other sources, obviously. So we got a lot going on out there. We have other species trying to enter the zone. So we definitely have things going on here that is would be frightening to those, for many who become aware of them too quick, without due, maybe a little pre-education. So I'll say this, sweetheart, get yourself strong. Even your children, you can't allow others outside of yourself to bring you down. And you're a woman, and women tend to do that because they're the love side of life. They're the caregivers of life. There's nothing like a beautiful heart of a woman, a good woman. And so that's the problem. People take advantage of that. And of course, in some cultures, they try to suppress that and hide that. And it's just what the world needs, because the world is too male, too acid, too aggressive, too violent. We need the female principle more than ever. But in law, you see a lot of females, corrupt female judges. I couldn't believe it. I was just in front of one. She's as corrupt as all get out. Female. And I almost said, you're a disgrace to the female race, because you plan on the female being honest. They're the ones that keep everything honest. Remember Lady Justice? Sad stuff. And you want a cold woman, go visit a female oncologist. I've never seen colder women than most female oncologists. Any female that can give chemo to a baby is as cold as ice. And I don't want to hear it's my job crap. That doesn't make it in a world. We make our own worlds. Nobody's over us with guns and yardsticks. The AMA is just a bunch of people that think they're control people. So we're just used to letting other people control ourselves. I look at a dictator and say, how can one man control a whole nation and even a whole army? We have the same thing going on with Obamacare. How can one man? Anybody else would have been kicked out of office like nobody's business. I don't know. We just got complacent. But in that complacency, we're about to get overran by the World Health and the IMF, the trilaterals. They're in a major takeover of the world, if you haven't noticed. So, caution, 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 caution. When you have a partner of however many years, it's hard not to merge, especially with making love. When you make love with someone, you merge with that person. And so it's difficult to remain detached in the art of making love, but we must learn that, because we develop bonds of attachment, not bonds of love, bonds of attachment, and that can rip your heart right apart. When something takes your joy and takes your self away from you, and then your happiness is the other people, you've lost yourself. And you got to find yourself again and get that happiness back. Remember, put the oxygen on mama first. Okay, so you must do that. Don't let outside things stress you. You were responsible for creating a body that brought a soul here. Absolutely. You can't control who that soul is or what that soul has to learn. So if your child is in and out of rehab or in drugs, you can just show love. Just show love and understanding. But that soul has to get its own self back into a state of wellness. And that's why I'm doing this, to hopefully reach out. And you guys on the Facebook now that's doing this a psychiatrist type of detox, I love that, because that focus is essential to have those people that have depression and anxieties expose why and how to fix it, without all these drugs that are creating all these shooters and these suicides and all this sad stuff just because of chemical medications? What? So that's the sort of thing. My youngest has been acting out. It has been hell. Well, Mom, get yourself well. Find yourself, go into the bedroom and shut the door. Everybody stay out. Mama's going to get a hold of Mama and love Mama. Because you're the great one here to want to help yourself and to take care of yourself. So I applaud you for that, sweetheart. I finally have been worn down and that's what this is all about. You know what? God will wear you down until you let go. Yeah, the whole idea is to let go of it all. Don't care anymore. And if you care, it'll rip you apart until you don't care anymore, notice? So in today's world, especially with spirituality, people are wanting to know God, wanting to know more of themselves, it can rip you. And anything you hold on to, see ya. You don't want to hold on to anything. Nothing matters but yourself anyway. Not in an ego standpoint, in a survival standpoint. So give yourself due respect and love, because you're a piece of God here experiencing. And that experience is going right back to the Godhead. So find that love in yourself for yourself, because each and every one of you are beautiful beings. And it is our acids and the toxemia that this world produces and the low consciousness that's trapping you. Let it all go. It doesn't matter. Turn your vision to the light, into flowers, into love, into beauty. And especially you females who that's what you represent, is the beauty and the love of life. That's why men can't get enough of you. I have an issue with the vaginal area being swollen. Get that out of there. You douche with the Heal-All tea. I did at least take 2 weeks, and every night douche with the Heal-All tea. Get your kidneys filtering. Because you know of several people that have had the, that pain that you get there, and that pain can necrotize and break down the vulva and the vaginal area. And no, you don't want to go there. And that's the lymph system backing up down there. And nothing ever comes with the Vulvodyne and all that. No, and sore and stinging. Now, and you might want to take a pad and soak it with Heal-All tea and hold it here, putting a towel or something while you watch TV or something there. At the same time, douche every night and let that kind of heal those tissues. You can do the same thing with the stomach tea. All anti-inflammatory and healing, but the real issue is interstitial, in the wall, and that you got to get through that through the kidneys. So you got to fix the kidneys and adrenal glands, honey, and don't let this go too long, because this isn't going to be a happy thing for you. I am not sure what is happening. That's what's happening. It's a lymph system. We've had ladies here that have had pain for years, atrophy of the vulva, that hadn't been able to walk or put on clothes or anything else. You don't want to go there. It's not worth it. Get it now. Fix it now. Get into a deeper detox. Give yourself time. Give Mama some time to get well here. Let everybody else do their own thing around you, and give yourself some due love and attention, sweetheart. But the more I read, the more it sounds like genital warts or herpes. No, it can even be worse. It can be why you have genital warts or herpes. And that's acidosis, and that has a far more destroying aspect to it, and we don't want that. Well, it's 10 after 4. It could be we have some more time to spend. All right. I have not been infected, nor look up Vulvodyne. I guess that's how you pronounce it. That is the that's inflammation around the vulva and everything, and that's now. I have been infected, nor my partner. No, it's not warts or herpes or things like that. That sounds more like acidosis, the swelling and all that. And that can create blisters too. So that's all acidosis, and you want that out of there. You can use these teas to help remedy that, but go into your kidneys and get them filtering, get your adrenals up so your steroids are up. You can use the female reproductive to strengthen and fix yourself up there. He stated that he has not had sex with anyone else. He doesn't have to have. This doesn't have to have anything to do with herpes whatsoever. And you're only going to have herpes when you're very acidic, aren't you? And that's if you, and people already have the herpes virus in them from what? The smallpox vaccinations. Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting herpes in all these people. Oh, you matured it in monkey kidneys? Is that what? Oh, gnarly. Freaking ass, gnarly people. Else in 14 years, his reason for leaving was more emotional because of what has happened to our family. Well, it sounds like Mommy needs to get herself healthy and well. And I think when you do, then that'll resonate out to the family. The woman holds the torch of the family. Even though the male has the strong and all this, the woman is the one that everything rests on. I have had a KEEP procedure like 14 years ago, I don't know what you're saying, and haven't had any problem since, except the occasional yeast infection. Well, like I say, douche with Hill tea for a couple of weeks, use a little on a napkin, to hold against the area, female area down there. It is so traumatizing that I can barely wear clothes. That's what I'm getting at. You're going to get so bad that you can't. You don't want to go there, and then you'll get deterioration of that. No. Back away from there, honey. Back away. Get yourself on a fruit diet. Start detoxing. Get your kidneys filtering, okay? And you'll feel a lot better about yourself. Could this have laid dormant and been? No, this is a process of building. Absolutely building. And sometimes people look at someone and go, "Oh, you're beautiful, so beautiful." Take off the skin. Because what's lying underneath and building. Because symptoms don't just come right away. Sometimes you don't have any symptoms and then wham! A symptom comes and you go, how did I have a tumor? How did I have cancer? It took years to get there. But you do bring up a good point about the stress triggering stuff. When you're stressed, you shut down the kidneys. You cease to filter even more. So the more you cease to filter, the more acids back up. That's the one thing stress does. Changes neurotransmitters. So you lose the neurotransmitters for elimination because you're using more epi instead of dopamines. I felt abandoned, and how can I get rid of this? Love yourself. Because that's all that matters. All that matters is you. How you love, who you bring into your world, is who you decide to spend time with. But they're not you. They might be someone you admire or someone you love, but don't lose yourself in the process of that love. And that's what we all tend to do. We bond. And that remember, we talked about this a long time ago in videos, how soul experiences creation. The mind is easy to understand how the mind experiences creation. It's easy to understand how the emotions experience creation, but how do you experience creation without the mind and emotions? You become it. You become the very experience you want to know about. You take it on. You become the mother, the wife. You take it all on. You take the roles of life on. Isn't who you are. You take the role playing on. Now it's time to sit the role playing to the side and find out who you are. And that breeds a happiness and a security that no one can take from you. And that's what you want. They can throw you in a prison, doesn't matter, because you're free. You learn how to leave the body. You learn that you are the essence of your experience and no one is. Because what's happening to you can happen to any of us at any time. We can lose every single thing we have and stand naked in front of the universe. But what we always have and will always have is our consciousness, our awareness, and nothing can take that away because you can't get rid of that. That part is the God part. And there's no destruction of that. It's not in matter, energy, space, or time. So go forth, young lady, and get a hold of yourself and love yourself, because I love you. And I'm sure all the YouTubers love you. So you got a lot of love and respect here. And just use that to drive yourself in more inside. The best way to learn about yourself is spend time alone with no one else, totally alone. Don't turn on the TV, don't turn on the radio. Spend time alone. Start looking at yourself. I'm okay. Remember that book years ago, I'm okay, you're okay? You know, we're all okay. You know, this is just levels of consciousness for which you can change. As all of you are, you're all awakening. So you no longer fit in this medical or this treatment-based or this religious. You're learning higher aspects of God and how it works and how its creation works. That's your survival, is learning the game. If not, you get lost in the game. And then you cry out for loneliness and insecurities. And you don't have to, because you're here. You're not going anywhere, and you're the only thing that matters. That's where all your security needs to be. No one can shake you off of that. And it's spending time alone and accepting yourself. Hey, and learning more of who you really are, you know? Love yourself first, and then you can really love others. And I don't mean from a narcissistic standpoint, but accept yourself as an expression of God here. And you're okay no matter what you look, what size you are, what color you are, who cares? It's the beauty of individuality. Nobody wants to be in a world where everything looks the same. Nobody, not even God. He doesn't make a world like that. Man makes worlds like that. This is from Ivy. Things are moving so fast. I have physio tomorrow, and consultant may pop in to find out if I will have the injection in joint due to the painful situation followed by surgery. What is this? First email. I'm going to have to look into this. I don't know. This is hooked to something else I shouldn't read or should read. I don't know. I don't want to upset anybody. This is from Randy. Thank you in advance for taking my question. No, be happy to. I appreciate it. Enjoy watching your videos. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it, my friend. I have tried to begin the raw diet and am taking tinctures and capsules. Good. Brenda was just reading on Mary Gladstar's site, and she's got farms. Mary Gladstar's a great herbalist. I love her. I've never met her in person, but I have her coursework here. She's good. I love her face cream. She's had that cream around for years and years. Excellent stuff. But I was thinking she was saying a dropper full of tincture is worth a whole bunch of capsules. I'll have to get that for you and let you know. I believe in what I have seen on your videos. Oh, thanks, man. Well, I try to spout the truth. I don't want to be guilty of not doing that, pay that price. In that sense, I know my problem can be helped. I just need practical advice on how. Okay, let's take a look here now. I loved bodybuilding and started at age 9. Well, that's young. You know, when I was young, I did too. I really loved the Joe Wilders and the Jack LaLannes at the time. And look what happened to Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne went from a high-protein popper to a major bodybuilder into a raw foodist and then lived right on up. You know, and the only thing that killed Jack LaLanne was a hospital. Sorry. But he treated pneumonia. He could have detoxed, being on juices or whatever, mistaken it for a big case of pneumonia, went to the hospital, gave him antibiotics, and dead he was. Most people die from pneumonia. I just never heard anything like that. They died from the treatment of it all the time. But no one should ever die from friggin' pneumonia. Give me a break. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Unless you're a COPDer and you can't get the mucus out and you cough to death on it, that would be another story. But then we're not at pneumonia, we're at COPD. I got bad advice from older people to use steroids. Yeah, I know it. You know what? There's been this period of time, even in athleticism, that bad information has just been coming down the pikes. I'm excited for you athletes who are touching the fruitarian levels, because you're going to talk about endurance, you're going to talk about speed, you're going to talk about strength. There's going to be nothing like you guys. I mean, nothing like you guys. It's just amazing stuff. I also used a lot of caffeine pills. Yeah. And caffeine, people say, well, use coffee enemas and stuff like that. Well, talk to someone that's used caffeine pills for a while, or Red Bull for too much. I know a lot of my friends are popping Red Bull like it was candy. And I was saying, I'll see you in my office with no adrenal glands anymore. And, and they're already starting to go, wait a minute, I can't pull myself out of this extreme fatigue. I said, you Red Bulled it too much. You can't overstimulate the body without paying a price. And that's the problem. You can't stimulate your way into health. You can't do it or into the way of strength. You can do it for a while and then, see you later kidneys, see you later joints, high acidosis, RA, rheumatoid arthritis gets a lot of them, or any type of arthritic issue. Of course, I know from you, my adrenals are shot. You're a good man, Randy. I know it. I am 51. 51, that's pretty good. But have had to take testosterone replacement. Oh, shit. For 7 to 8 years? Now you see the commercials talking about what testosterone's doing now? Yeah, you were already had adrenals, so you had low adrenals, so now you're popping. So you want to get away from that, of course, and start getting on your adrenals. That's where you definitely want to use a glandular 400 milligrams, I think, every hour. Not every hour, but 3 times a day. Thank you. Doing it to me again. Use the adrenal glandular 400 milligrams, 3 times a day. I would also go after my kidneys, clean the prostate, testicles, things like this, so you can produce better testosterone, because you're going to have a bump, because you got to give off testosterone. And if your PSAs, I hope you're checking your PSAs, because if you're having inflammation in the prostate and you pump this much testosterone, you push yourself deeper toward the prostate cancer issue. So you want to get away from this serious stuff. You might have a low here for a while, but better to have a little low and fix everything right and come out on top than it is to start losing some serious stuff here. And that's what you're headed. You're losing some serious stuff here. Also, I have sleep apnea, so you're congested all the way up in here. So you got to move all this lymph out of here. I don't know if you're pumping milk and milk products as well. Some do, and then that fills them full of mucus and all that crap. But you got to drain all this out. Get your esophagus cleaned up, your throat, your sinuses. Once that does, your sleep apnea will be gone. You'll be fine that way. But my worry is being so long on testosterone. Not smart. That was not good. And, of course, medical doctors here, belly right up here, will give you testosterone. It's almost like there's a willingness to destroy tissue in people. It's almost like it's a willingness to do it. It's like, what? Jesus. Or it's just a machine that can't think outside of a box. And it's just an ongoing circle that just can't break itself free from that. But there's plenty of attorneys out there now. Testosterone, bad drug, although it's a steroid, but bad drug. Jesus Christ. They had something else that it did, and I didn't even know it related to that. Something else is happening because of the use of that. Yeah, my CPAP, I have my machine, I have trouble sleeping, I have been taking 3 Benadryl, so man, you really, you know what, you shut your kidneys down, you're not filtering, sounds like at all, hardly. So you want to get to your kidneys, Randy, my friend, get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, use your gland, get on this 14, if you can afford to get on this 14-week protocol we have here, you're really killing the parasites, you'll get everything up, the liver up, you'll start fixing these things, getting yourself in a high fruit, berry, and melon diet, maybe a salad a day if you want to pump some green drinks instead of a salad. I like that better. Hit your parsleys, your dandelion greens, your beets, and things like that. Just really start powering your body up in another way. Get it cleaned out, enhance your adrenals, get your prostate and testicles in shape. That way you'll come strong with good testosterone. I'd probably use a lower circulation with you. With all these problems, I'd probably use some lower circulation as well. With the sleep apnea, you want to be careful about losing hair and everything else up here, because then you're going to have more problems dealing with your main frame here. Benadryl, bad lymph system. Bad lymph system. So you got to do some cleaning. And if you get into a cold and flu, Randy, let it come, baby. Let it come forth. All this mucus and stuff, you'll be a lot better off for it. Thank you for your help and suggestion. You betcha, Randy. You want to take care of yourself and come out on the strong side, not the weaker side. And we just have a society that just treats everything. Here, take this, take that. And no concern for consequences. Well, we're the ones that always has to fix the consequences. That's the problem. And that's why I am the way I am. I've been having to clean up medical doctors' messes for years. Years, all my life. You know, people go there first, especially years ago. Thank God to the beautiful souls on the YouTube and on you Facebooks and all you people around the world that are exposing the truth, the light to others, and saving them from all these problems. It's enough to say, keep it up. Keep yourself happy, keep yourself healthy, and love yourself. Don't let anyone tear you down. You know, that's tough when you have longer-term situations where you've been in a relationship, male or female. It's just hard on people. And it's just because we're breeding attachment, not detachment. And we have to learn how to have detachment, which builds divine love, much more powerful love. But even it can sneak in to personal love. But speaking about love, here's a whole bunch to every single one of you. And this is from all the guys. We love you. Take care of yourselves. Until the next video. Thank you.